Hey guys, welcome back. I want to wish everybody Happy New Year and let's hope that this year is going to be great for the markets, for crypto, and for stocks. I want to give you a quick update. I did sell a little part of my position in Bitcoin and I bought more Ethereum. So I reduced my Bitcoin exposure and increased my Ethereum exposure. And as we discussed in the previous videos, I think that we are going to see altcoins explode, especially in the first quarter of this year. That's why I did this move. Okay, uh, let's go into the charts and let's look into potential trade setups that we we can do this year. So this is the chart of Bitcoin. And as you can see, Bitcoin went into this trend line that we've been watching, and this trend line goes all the way back to the high of the 2018 cycle through the height of 2021, and Bitcoin came right into it. It is a resistance level, which means that when it hits this level, there's a high probability that it's going to pull back. I was hoping that's going to go a little bit higher. However, I remember this day right here. This day was December 18th. That's when Jerome Powell did his press conference, and he basically said that he was very hawkish. He said that the next year they're not going to do a lot of rate hikes. He's expecting only two at this time. That's why market kind of sold off. And it was bad news for the market, so I sold a little bit of my Bitcoin. Again, not all of it, just a little bit of it, around 101K. I waited for this pullback and I bought into Ethereum during this pullback. Okay, and I'm up on my position right now a little bit, but I'm gonna hold on to it and I'll show you when we're gonna go to the chart of Ethereum. I'm gonna show you um, what's the level that I'm looking at. Okay, so with Bitcoin right now, we see that it did a little bit of a down move right here, and then right now we can see this it was in kind of like a downsloping channel right here, and downsloping channels are in general bullish, which means that they usually break to the upside. Okay, so right now we can see that Bitcoin is breaking up a little bit. One trend line to watch is this trend line right here. I put it on a different chart, on the Bitcoin tether chart. So we have this upsloping channel right here that Bitcoin was ranging in, and usually like the lower line of this channel, when it breaks to the downside, it becomes resistance, which means that if the price goes back into this trend line, it probably will pull back before going higher. Okay. Um, at this point, I really don't think that Bitcoin is gonna do huge pullbacks. It definitely can. If there's going to be some bad news in the market, it definitely can go to around $80,000, maybe even to maybe $75,000. However, this is very unlikely just because there's a lot of bullish narrative in the markets right now. Trump is going to be in the office at the end of this month. SEC chair is going to be quitting, and we're going to have a new SEC chair who's going to be pro crypto. So there's going to be a lot of very good news in the markets that will probably pull the price up. Also, this candle right here is very bullish. So this candle is called a bottoming tail or a bottoming candle. And basically what it is you can see that the price opened right here and flushed all the way down to 92K in one day. And then within that one day, the price was pushed back up and closed pretty much almost where it's opened. Okay, so usually what that means is it means that there's a lot of buying pressure at these levels. Okay, and when we see this kind of candles, usually it indicates that this is a short-term bottom. Okay, so I really don't think it's gonna break down too much from here. Usually if we look at this type of candles, like right here, see it indicated the bottom, and then like right in here there's this kind of candle, so it's a long tail to the bottom, and then it closes, um, and it opens and closes within this um, higher part of the candle. Okay, so I think that we're gonna see more upside from here. We might see a little bit of pullbacks, but we definitely have a lot of bullish narrative in the markets right now. So we're probably gonna see a little bit more upside. Let's look at Ethereum. So Ethereum had a very strong up move recently, and I bought Ethereum around here. I remember when this flushed out, I had a limit order at 3,000. I wanted to buy it at 3,000, but it didn't get filled. So when I woke up and I saw this bottom and tail, I knew that the probabilities are that this thing is not gonna go lower, much lower than where it is right here. So I bought it around like 34.80. Those were my profits from a little part of my Bitcoin position. So I got a little bit more of Ethereum, and let's see if it's gonna perform well in January. Usually, Ethereum is lagging, as we discussed, and as you guys know, Bitcoin is already past its all-time high of 2021. Ethereum hasn't even reached its all-time high yet. Like, it hasn't even reached the high of 2021. So there's a lot of upside uh, into Ethereum right now, and I think that it will pleasantly surprise us in the next year. So the trend line that I'm gonna watch is this trend line. Basically, we're connecting the high of 2018, we're connecting through the highs of 2021, and we are getting this long-lasting trend line. So if Ethereum gets into it, we're gonna see a 120% up move, and the price will be around $8,000. Can it go higher? Yes, it can go higher. However, if this goes into this area, I'm probably gonna sell part of my Ethereum. So let's see how fast it can reach that level. Usually when there's a lot of upward momentum, it can get there pretty quick. So let's just hope that it's gonna be soon. And let's go into the traditional markets. So the S&P 500, we saw a sell-off. We saw a recent sell-off. This was the day when Jerome Powell press conference had his press conference, and he basically said that they're not gonna they're not going to cut rates a lot next year. So market kind of overreacted here. So we do see a little bit of down movement here. I really don't think it's gonna break below this channel. Again, just because there's so much bullish narrative. I'm in the camp that it's probably gonna shoot up to the upper part of this channel and then pull back a little bit more. At some point, we're probably going to see more of a crash. And again, this is an upsloping channel, and in technical analysis, upsloping channels have more probabilities to break to the downside than to the upside. So we can assume that over the long run, at some point, we're going to see a pullback to the downside, and this is going to be a great opportunity to buy. It's probably going to be like a quick flush like we saw right here. So let's see. I don't know if it's gonna happen soon or it's gonna happen in a year or two. Nobody really knows. However, um, remember that we are seeing an uptrend. We're still in an uptrend, and in technical analysis, there is a rule number one that the trend is more likely to continue than to break. Okay, so at this point, we are most probably going to continue this up move. So if we're going to pull back to this lower end of the channel, this would be a great opportunity to buy. Okay. Now let's look into the XRP. And XRP is a very interesting chart. So right now we are kind of ranging in this wedge pattern. So basically, if we connect the lows right here to the highs right here, we see this wedge. Okay, we can adjust the price a little bit. It's kind of a little bit messy, so I apologize for that. Okay, so this is our wedge. This is a bullish wedge. Okay, so when the price goes in a wedge that goes kind of sideways, that is a bullish sign. So at some point, there's a high probability that it's going to break to the upside and do a big move. Okay, it's probably going to be an explosive move to the upside. However, the question is going to be within the recent days or no? And what's interesting is the price came right here, okay, and this was our trend line connecting these two highs. I was really tempted to short it right here, but I didn't. I really don't like to short volatile assets like crypto. I've been burned doing that, and I really don't recommend doing it, guys. However, if you want to try it, just be ready to lose all your money and ask me how I know. So then we can see that the price kind of pulled back, and look at this candle right here. And as we discussed previously, what is this candle? This is a bottoming tail. And usually when we see, and this is actually a topping tail. So the topping tail is a candle when the price kind of opened at the lower range of the intraday price, then it shot up, and then it went up quite a bit, and then there's a lot of selling pressure, so the price came back down and closed lower. And you can see that the opening price and the closing price is within the lower half of the candle, and we have this big tail, which means that there's a lot of downside pressure. So we have this topping tail, and then we have this bottoming tail. And usually when we see a topping tail and then the bottoming tail, that means that the price is going to shoot to the upside. Okay, then and again, it's just probabilities, guys, but this is usually like right now we have about 75% chance, I would say, that we're gonna see an explosive up move in XRP within the upcoming days. Okay, we see that there's a lot of buying pressure right here. If we're not gonna shoot to the upside within the recent days, what's gonna happen? We're probably gonna just range in this wedge until we break either to the upside or to the downside. However, right now probabilities are that we're gonna break to the upside. Okay, there's gonna be a lot of news coming up, like especially with SEC chair. As you guys know, XRP had been in this lawsuit for a while, and right now we finally see some regulatory clarity, and we're gonna see new SEC chair who's gonna be pro crypto, pro XRP. So definitely we might have some very good and strong up moves in XRP. I was looking at Pepe too. I don't put a lot of money in meme coins, and a lot of people don't like them, but I can tell you that those are my best performing assets. Like really, like some of the meme coins that I bought, like I bought Pepe um, when it was, geez, when it was like around here. And right now it's like I have like 15x my money. So I haven't sold it yet. I've been thinking about maybe adding a little bit to it, but I don't think this is a good level to add. At least I would wait until it pulls back right here. It might not pull back, actually, it might shoot up, but in general, this type of volatile charts, they tend to trade in, so there's a upper move and then there's a pullback. And we can look into the history of how it performed before, and you can see, so it moves up and it pulls back about 50% of this move. Okay, so if we look at the, we can do like a little Fibonacci here, and you can see it went to 0.618 on Fibonacci. So a little bit more than 50% pullback. I mean, like from this move. So then it went up and then it went down towards the highs of this move. Then it went up and went down towards the highs of this move. So it's a very symmetrical up move, and it's usually very volatile. So if you want to trade something like that, it's very risky. Again, you might lose your money, especially if you trade on margin. However, um, usually if you want to trade something like that, you have to be disciplined. You have to wait for those big pullbacks and buy it exactly at that level. Okay, if you're not going to be disciplined, if you're going to be like, oh, I think my gut tells me that this is going to explode, trust me, you're going to lose all your money. This is not a casino, guys. Like when you trade, you have to be very disciplined. You have to wait until exact pullback into the level. Okay, so you have the level in your mind and you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait on that. And if the price, let's say, goes the opposite way and it shoots up and it never reaches this trend line back, that's fine. There's always another trade. It's better than putting your money into the 50-50 trade and losing it all. Okay, so you don't want to put money into the trade that's a 50-50 chance. You always want to look for the opportunities that have about 70 to 80% of the probabilities in your favor. And for that, you use technical analysis. Technical analysis is not the exact science, guys. It's not mathematics, it's not physics, but there are certain rules. It's pretty much like a cycle, okay? And you just play on it. So you look for trend lines, you look for different indicators like moving averages, and you look for the best trade setups, and you put your money when there's a bigger probability of the up move. And then you just decide whenever you want to sell. You want to get like a quick gain of 10%, 20%, or you want to get a bigger gain. So that's what you have to decide for yourself, but that's basically how you trade. So also I wanted to show you this chart, and what this is a global liquidity cycle. And risk assets like crypto and stocks, they tend to trade based on liquidity cycles. Okay, and what that means is there are periods in history where the liquidity, the global liquidity is shrinking, and there are periods of the markets where the liquidity is expanding. Okay, so right now we're in an up move in the liquidity cycle, and that usually means that the price of risk assets goes up. Okay, because liquidity ends up parking somewhere, and usually parks into the risk assets like stocks and crypto. Okay, so we can see that according to this chart, the top of the liquidity cycle is going to be around 2025, going into 2026. So this is probably going to be the top of the market the next year, and then we're going to see some type of pullback. Um, I see there's a lot of, let me just switch to here. So I see that there's a lot of narrative right now online, and you can probably see it on different channels. There's a lot of people who are extremely bullish, and they say that next year is going to be crazy, everything's going to explode 100x, and there are people who are saying that everything's going to crash, and we're going to see a huge down move in stocks, a huge down move in crypto. And here's the thing, guys, these are all speculations. Nobody knows exactly what is going to happen. So you just have to accept this fact that there's a lot of unknown, okay? If you listen to the bulls who think that the market will go up, they have their own explanations. They have a lot of like fundamental indicators, technical indicators, economic indicators that are pointing that the market will go up. If you listen to the bears who think that the market will crash, they have a lot of indicators, and there's a lot of things that we can look at that are indicating that the market will crash. However, nobody really knows. Market is extremely unpredictable, and it tends to surprise everybody. It goes higher than everybody expects, and it goes lower than everybody expects. So remember that. I think, my personal opinion, that 2025 is going to be a strong bullish year, just because of the liquidity cycle. Okay, because remember, guys, it's all about liquidity. Okay, so when liquidity is expanding, the money tend to park in the risk assets, because imagine like you're paying for goods and services with a credit card. When you swipe your credit card, you create money. When you create money, basically by by extending a credit, then let's say you pay me money for my services. Well, I pay for my bills, like I buy food, and then whatever is left over, I buy risk assets like stocks or crypto. Okay, so the more liquidity there is in the world, the higher risk assets gonna cost. So it might be oversimplified, and there's of course more to it, and I cannot explain the whole global economy within a 10-minute video. However, we are in an upswing of a liquidity cycle. That's why I think that the year is going to be bullish. Okay. Okay, guys, remember that this is not financial advice. And if you put your money in something, you have to probably talk to a financial advisor about your specific situation. And just remember, never invest money that you cannot afford to lose. Okay, investments are risky, and crypto especially is very risky. Okay, all right, guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.